Hi, so today I'll be talking about data visualization I made about the finishing position of F1 drivers based on what country they're from. So I have a choropleth map here that aims to show the average finishing position of uh, countries with F1 drivers. We use a continuous color scale here. So it goes from 1 to 39, which is the best and worst position you can in the data set that drivers have finished at. Um, and then we have some filters and controls here for moving the map around and changing the size, changing the minimum number of races, filtering the data set based on the minimum number of races a driver has driven and the minimum number of drivers per country. So I'll re-render. Um, but yeah, my main insight that I saw was with everything set to the minimum filter, um, Poland seems to have the best mean finishing position, 10.65. So that's almost average point scoring. But the thing is, this is only because they've only had one driver ever, Robert Kubica, who's apparently very good compared to the average like F1 driver in like history. So it was interesting. If you change the minimum races per driver to like 5 or 10, it doesn't still change. It still makes Poland look the best because Robert Kubica himself drove 99 races. But if you also change minimum drivers per country to like 5 or something, you can see there's a lot of countries that just uh, don't have any drivers who've driven at least 5 races, or have any countries that have had drivers, at least 5 drivers who've driven at least 5 races. But in terms of this filter, Mexico actually stands out the most. Yeah, Mexico stands out the most with the average finishing position of 12.99 across like 6 drivers over 450 something races. Most of this is because of Sergio Perez because he has over like 250 something race starts and he's the most successful Mexican driver ever. So that was pretty cool. But if you keep raising this, the results keep changing too. Like if it's minimum 10 drivers per country with at least 10 races per driver, then Argentina looks the best then at 12.8, um, over 300 or something races. I think this is probably because of Juan Manuel Fangio, because he had like 3, 4, 5 years where he was just winning titles back to back to back. So interesting. But if you keep raising this even more, you get to the point where there's very few countries even left. Like there's only 5 countries that have at least 20 drivers who've driven at least 20 races in their whole career, and 4 out of 5 of them are from Europe and like Western Europe, specifically Western and Central Europe, France, UK, Germany, Italy, and then there's just Brazil here. Out of these, the UK is the most successful. They've also have the most number of F1 drivers like ever. With these filters, it's 42, but in history, it's 166. And yeah, um, in terms of the data, this was sourced from Kaggle, so it's up to date from 1950 to like the middle of 2024. So, and in terms of processing the data, I found the average finishing position per driver. Um, I put the active filter for minimum races per driver, grouped the drivers by country, uh, found the average mean finishing position per country, and then put another filter for the minimum driver number of drivers per country. Um, yeah, that's all. Thank you.